Welcome back. I'm really glad that you're here. Today we are going to keep working on this large collection that I have been dreaming of for quite some time. Over the past few days I worked to add some more people, getting them created from start to finish, and it feels really good. But I kind of want to switch gears today, and I think I'm just going to be working on something that's a little bit more tedious and a little bit more time consuming. And I want to, because the idea of these pieces is that they'll be really large but with lots of little details. And so this is one of 6 layers for the trees, and I have all of these leaves that I need to glue to the trees. So that is today's task, is to see if I can get one of these. I know I won't be able to get it finished, but I know I can get it started. So I'm gonna get you set up, and I'll share some of the progress over the last few days with you all, where we created a few more of the people for the scene, and I got into the city and I spent some time with some dear friends, and I'll take you along for that. But let's go ahead and get set up so I can get moving on this. And oh yeah, if you're new here, hi, I'm Alexis. I'm a full-time artist here in Brooklyn, New York, and on this channel I share my art and the inspiration behind my art and life here in New York City. Here in this little part of the internet, we believe in liberation for all people, and we believe in the power of community and the idea that we belong to each other and we are responsible for one another, and none of us are free until all of us are free. So if that sounds like something you're into, stick around. I'm glad you're here. You found the right place. But let's go ahead and get set up and start making some progress on this. This is actually moving a lot faster than I thought it would, which is cool because oftentimes things end up taking a lot longer, and I might be jinxing it here, but slow and steady, but we're making some progress and it feels good. And so the idea is that like this whole thing will be covered, and then I think I have like five layers per tree, 2 trees per piece. So it will take time, but it feels good to be seeing some progress already. And I'm just really excited about it. I think I am gonna make another pot of coffee, because when I'm working from home I really enjoy just having a hot beverage, but I also am going to enjoy my Magic Mind for today. And Magic Mind is a mental performance shot that really helps me stay focused. So when I have these like tedious things that I'm working on and just a lot of tasks to get through for my day, because like I said, this is just one of the things that I need to get done today, I have found that it really helps me like focus in and get so much more done. And honestly, I really enjoy it. So that's a bonus. But I've noticed that as I have been enjoying Magic Mind as part of my daily routine, I really am able to just stay very clear. So that mental clarity, which I talk about quite often, and like getting really clear about what it is that I want and what I'm working on, I find that I am able to sustain that focus for greater periods of time with Magic Mind. And if you would like to try Magic Mind for yourself, they are offering a first-time bundle, because in addition to their daytime formula, they also have a nighttime formula. And so I've been really enjoying having both of these as I start 2025 and as I'm getting really clear about the plans that I have for the year. And if you would like to try it for yourself, you can go to www.magicmind.com/PFTPJAN for 45% off a bundle of the daytime and the nighttime formulas. And if you give it a try, let me know what you think. And so now that I've enjoyed that, I want to get the coffee brewing, and I am going to keep moving on this tree. And while I do that, I'm going to share with you a little bit of what took place over the last few days as we created the people for these community pieces, perhaps the most important part of a community, correct? So I'll meet you back here in a little bit and we'll see how far we've made it. When I first began creating, I was all about the little details, the really tiny pieces that added up to a much larger thing. And this piece of Malcolm X is one of the first ones that I did. And I just really loved creating the texture of the hair. And I did that recently again with a piece celebrating Nikki Giovanni's life and the legacy that she left and the impact that she had. But it feels really, really good to be getting back to the little details. In 2020 and lockdown, I know I've mentioned that I challenged myself to make a portrait a day to kind of get better at hair. I think that as you are undertaking anything in life, if you find that there is an area that you would like to improve, to give yourself just small ways to practice that, right? So I began making these portraits to practice hair texture and layering and creating depth and variation. But with that, then people became interested in purchasing them. And then I had to really very quickly think about how I could create batches of these portraits, because it's all cut and assembled by hand, in a way that was like still affordable and at an affordable price point, because at that point that was really important for me. And I don't think that I did it perfectly. I think I know that I priced them pretty low, but it worked. It worked for the time being, but within that, I lost my connection to the small details because I had to think of like mass production. And in mass production as an independent small business owner, right? So doing 10 portraits at a time. But in doing that, I had to really simplify what I was doing. And I had to do away with a lot of the small details that I really loved in my work. And I think that with anything, there's seasons and there's ebbs and there's flows, and you'll learn through it all. And I've learned a lot through the last 5 years of Paper for the People, and I'm really grateful for everything that I have learned, because it has absolutely put my feet where they are now, and it has given me a more clear understanding of where my joy lies and where my passions lie, and the work that I want to be creating moving forward. All right, so we're making progress, and last time I showed you this little duo, this little person here with their dog, and in the scene, this little duo is waving to their friends in the top window. And she's done, so we've gotten her done, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm really, really thrilled with how they're both turning out. I mean, sometimes, you know, it's really fun for me to see like a basic sketch that's basically like an outline, and then once I start creating it in paper, seeing it come to life with all of the different layers, and it just like takes on a life of its own, really, in a way that is like surprising and I really love. And I think that's what I like about creating so much, is that you have a vision, right? Or an inspiration to do something. And if you open yourself up to it, oftentimes it becomes something much greater than what you had planned for yourself, or you had planned for this piece. And I think about that like as it relates to kind of life in general. I know I've made some pretty grand plans for myself, but the moment I release control and really just kind of get in the flow or the groove of it, what ends up like coming forth or taking place far exceeds my expectations. So I'm gonna hold on to that energy. That is definitely the energy that I am taking forward into this year. And I am just like keeping my head down, doing a ton of work, and feeling really, really excited about it. So I feel really good that we've got 2 dogs and 2 people done, and now I'm gonna hop in the shower and wash my hair. I'm gonna do that, and then I wanna move to my desk. But I'm definitely gonna get going on this little next person, which is my childless cat woman, because having children does not make a woman valuable or increase her worth. And if you would like me to expound on that, I will, but I don't think that you all need that explanation. If you're here, you know who I am. But I am, yeah, I'm gonna step aside and get cleaned up, and then we'll get going on this next little person. But I'm feeling really good with the progress we've made so far. All right, so I've showered, and I am ready to make my childless cat woman. I'm really excited to see how her hair comes together, because I don't sketch like the layers in the hair really. Like there's just like some basic ones. I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3. I know it's really hard to see. I'm so sorry. I'm still learning how to like focus the camera. Ah, there we go. But when I've been cutting it, there have been additional layers that I've been adding, and so I'm really excited to see what happens. Like with the one I made earlier today, her sketch, I've already cut it. You can kind of see, like the hair on this sketch, there's no layers on it, right? But then as I cut her hair, let's see, we got a bunch more layers. Is that the trick? Do I just have to get my face really close? But I went from like no layers on the sketch to, you know, lots of layers in her hair. So as I cut, I am always really excited to see what happens. I am in between, so I'm in between audiobooks, and I'm just taking a break from podcasts, I think. So I've been listening to a lot of music. Sometimes what I will do, I'm looking for my phone, I can't find it, is like scroll TikTok while I'm working, which I know is so silly, but like I'll have it in and I'll be cutting and kind of swiping and listening. And I don't know, man, after the TikTok ban, it just left a really sour taste in my mouth, and I'm not into it. I think I am really rethinking my relationship with social media, and I'm into it. I have wanted to move away from Meta for a long time, but right now it's like the main place where I have like this living portfolio of my work from the very, very beginning. It's like I started People for the People on like with Instagram to track my progress, you know, and it would be hard to let that go, but I have definitely shown up there less and less over the last year and a half. Honestly, maybe 2 years, like since I left teaching. And I was like such a TikTok girl, and now I'm not into it. So I think YouTube is where people are gonna connect with me, because I don't really have the mental space for another 4 years of what social media becomes under his leadership. And I don't know, I have so much that I want to build, and I have such big dreams, and thinking about like hope and hope as action, right? I know that in order to stay hopeful and not despairing, I have to really protect my energy. And you know, take that however you want, but like I know that I am a sensitive little person, and I get really impacted by other people's words and energies, and social media is just not it. It's not it. I am not going to change anybody's mind on social media. I think that this TikTok ban kind of happened at a really pivotal moment while I've been thinking about my relationship to social media and where I put my energy and where I put my focus, and I think it happened exactly when it was supposed to happen, and it really shifted that and kind of solidified what I was already thinking. So y'all, I'm glad you're here with me on YouTube, and I'm glad that we can connect in this way, and I really have enjoyed it over the last almost year. I started at the beginning of February 2024, so we've almost been together for a year, which is incredible. But I think moving forward, YouTube is my jam, like significantly it, you know what I'm saying? I've really enjoyed the YouTube. So anyways, that's the update. I'm gonna get this set up and I'm gonna get moving on this lady before Mario gets back, but thanks for hanging with me for a second. And don't get me wrong, I still love social media. I have seen how it has benefited the people so significantly. From Ferguson to George Floyd to Palestine, I have seen how it has been absolutely instrumental in spreading information and uniting people and sharing truths that were otherwise difficult perhaps to access. But what I have come to terms with is that a social media platform is fickle and it is beyond our control, and they can come and go. What I have really come to understand is that we have to be extremely intentional with how we are connecting in person and how we share information with one another and how we support one another and how we show up. Making progress. Her hair was a challenge, and I think that happens sometimes with paper. Just trying to get the layering right, especially like when there's like shoulders and heads and whatever. But we got there, and I'm feeling pretty happy about it. And I really wanted to create depth with her hair here. So what I'll do is I'll often do like a darker color with a lighter color, and so I had the darker colors sketched, and then I just kind of, you know, played with the lighter color, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and making adjustments as needed. She's not finished. I want to add a couple more of the lighter on top and maybe a little bit in her bangs, but I'm excited about her. I really, when I drew her, envisioned her having orange or like this like bright red hair, and I think she's turning out pretty cute. I think that you should create what sparks joy in you and trust that it will find other people that it also sparks joy for. And this has been so much fun for me to get back into. I think I mentioned in my last video that it had been a minute since I had like really created any new work, because I just needed time to wrap my brain around the direction that I wanted to go. And now that I have a very clear vision, man, I'm having so much fun. So slow and steady is the key. But we got like 2 3/4 people done today. I still have to make her 2 cats, but it feels really good. But I am gonna call it a night for now. Mario is in the park and is gonna grab a sandwich. We're gonna watch some Dawson's Creek, but I'll check back in with you tomorrow before we hit the city. And thanks for spending time with me today. I'll see you soon. Got a lot done yesterday and it feels really, really good. And now I did a little bit this morning, but I gotta get out the door because I'm gonna go meet up with a couple of different people. I'm meeting up with a new friend, Vicky. I met through my friend Wallace, who you all have heard about before. We're gonna meet up and have some coffee and just talk about work and art and books. She has written a couple of children's books. She's the author of the Fenway series, which is like super popular in elementary schools, and she's just a phenomenal human, and I'm excited to catch up with her. And then after that, I'll have a little bit of time to kill. I might just sit and read somewhere. And then Boo's birthday is tonight, so I'm gonna meet her in, I think, the Lower East Side, with some of our friends and just kind of celebrate another year of life. So let's get our coats on because it is freezing. It's so cold in New York. So I'm gonna bundle and get out into the city and see what kind of trouble we can get into. And don't forget, if you want to try Magic Mind for yourself, you can get up to 45% off a bundle if you go to www.magicmind.com/PFTPJAN. Well, I'm gonna have to cut more leaves. I did get a lot done though. I mean, you can see all of those. And so, I don't know, this is like 400 leaves and it covered maybe a third of it. So definitely still have my work cut out for me, but it feels good to be making progress. I feel like I've said that so many times. I think I just needed to get back into it. And now that I'm in it, I'm like, oh man, I really missed this. And so I'm gonna wrap up here and get this video edited so I can get it out to y'all. But thank you for spending your time with me. As always, I greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoyed spending your time with me, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. That helps YouTube know that there's value here and they're more willing to share it with wonderful people like you. And if you would like to follow along as I share my life as a full-time artist here in New York City and get really clear about the work that I am creating and the life that I am building, I would be honored if you subscribed. But with all of that being said, lastly, whatever time of day you've watched this, I hope it has been a kind one. Until next time.